Hey yo, this is Amir.
And this is Hanafi.
And this is Nazarene.
And we are the Golden Nuggets Podcast.
Imagine being told a year ago that your next big adventure wouldn't involve scaling mountains but embarking on a journey into sheep breeding. That's right, sheep breeding. A venture that's not just a leap into unknown, but a step towards something truly rewarding. A chance to connect with nature, to invest in life, and to see growth in the most unexpected of ways. With Alia Risk Holdings, this isn't just a dream. It's a tangible opportunity to invest in a program designed not just for financial return, but for a sustainability and connection to Earth. Ready to start your adventure in shipbreeding? Visit tgnpodcast.com/ARHinvest and discover how you can be part of this.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Golden Nuggets Podcast. Ami is now well rested and has the mental capacity. So, welcome to part 3 with Liza.
Yeah.
Ami, go for it.
Alright, so I think we covered a lot about LPA. I want to understand more about estate planning.
Okay.
Especially about how to make my kids become trust fund babies.
Trust fund babies.
That's the dream.
Yeah, that's the dream, right?
I mean to be the trust fund babies lah.
Yeah, I mean they are girls, so have to lah. Yeah. Better for them to be trust fund babies. If it's a boy, then I make sure they are not lah. Yeah.
Okay, so what is a trust fund baby? I mean,
trust fund babies are people who are born into wealth lah. In other words.
okay.
Yeah. That's the simplest term lah, kan?
Yes.
But how they are born into wealth is basically they have their family trust where if let's say their family members' wealth, whatever they have accumulated, it goes into this trust. Okay. And if let's say that person have passed away, perhaps their insurance, their life insurance, all will go into the trust. And then this trust will be the main entity that will distribute the wealth or the money to the children.
Got it.
Did I explain it right?
Yes, it's correct.
Wow, I mean,
That's the
I'm a
simplest
lawyer.
way to do it,
Yeah. So I've been studying about this a lot because I understand that there are a lot of past billionaires who they were billionaires, but they did not have the proper structure to be able to trickle down their wealth as per how you see perhaps the Rothschild family or the Rockefeller family has done lah. Because these people, their generations down the line are still pretty rich, right?
Yeah, still making money.
Yeah. It's because of the structure that they have already built from the start.
Yeah.
So for me, I would like to understand, perhaps for a start, if we want to talk about the Sharia compliant way, how do we actually, is this even Sharia compliant to be coming up with this rather than doing it purely on Faraidh?
Well, definitely it is. It's just that how are you going to create this trust? Okay, so in order to create a trust, you need to have this thing called a trust deed. So what's inside this trust deed? There's a lot of things that you can put inside. But the very basic things you need to have is also to appoint a trustee.
Okay.
So trustee or trustees, depending on how many you have in mind lah.
Yeah.
So this person or this entity will be in charge of managing your estate in that sense, or your monies lah. And you will also have to give very, very specific instructions as to what kind of powers are given to them. Do they allocate money only for the purposes of studies? Do they allocate money only for the purposes of medical related atau just maintaining your kids?
Okay.
So these are the basic things that we are talking about lah. So in terms of whether is it Sharia compliant or not, actually it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So that means, let's say I have $1 million and then I pass away tomorrow. But if let's say that's the case, and then I have this $1 million to be passed down to my family. The normal way when it goes through Faraidh is if let's say I don't even have a component to give as hibah, is my wife will get 1/16th portion, and then my daughters will get 1/8 portion each, something like that, right?
Need to consider whether your parents are still around.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if they're still around, then your parents will also get a share as well.
And then so the thing
That's
is
all Faraidh.
Faraidh.
Yeah. So that is the by right method. But if let's say if I want to put it in the trust and I want to distribute it in the way that this trust will give this X amount of money monthly for school or for whatsoever purposes for each of my daughter and also for my wife, and then my parents don't get anything, example is this considered Sharia compliant then?
It's not lah, because the whole idea of all these estate planning tools is not to enlarge or reduce a person's share.
Okay.
And when you do that and they are not happy about it, that one is already non-Sharia compliant already.
I see.
Yes. So we have to be very careful lah. So for example, when you use tools such as your hiba, your nuzria, the whole idea is to ensure that a particular person is properly taken care of in that sense. But when you're doing that, you need to be careful not to, like I said, enlarge atau reduce a person's share.
Okay.
Because if not, it's between you and Allah later lah.
Okay.
Yes.
But I mean the concern is, especially if you have kids, right? The concern is like for them to be going to certain school that you want them to, and also you know that the fees will be this much.
Yes.
So definitely because of that, their share will technically be more than, for example, the people you are supposed to allocate this to, right?
You know, if you're doing it in a sincere way, you know, you're not intending to purposely reduce a person's share, that one is fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I think for this, wouldn't it be considered under hiba? Because you already set aside this money as a gift for your daughter, your child, for the school.
You're right in that sense that hiba will work also in this particular scenario, but because the whole idea is that somebody is going to hold the money on trust. Hiba,
Okay.
hiba you can't include that inside. Hiba is just giving a gift aja.
Okay.
And hiba you can't give to your blood relative, right?
You can.
Oh, can ah?
Can.
Boleh.
Oh, okay. I thought hiba is something you cannot give to your blood relative, something like that. I don't know. I can't remember.
Itu wasiat.
Oh,
Wasiat tak boleh.
okay. So that's the wanted portion thing that.
Yes, correct. Itu dalam wasiat.
Oh,
Hiba
okay.
got no limit lah in that sense.
Okay.
You give to
I see.
anybody also.
Yes.
Okay, then my next question is about like nominating someone from your, let's say, your life insurance policy. When you nominate someone to take that entire amount, isn't it kind of in a way like what you mentioned, you are reducing other people's share also?
Okay, so the thing is, I'm not too sure if you have ever seen the nomination forms for various insurance companies. Even for me, recently I just did a nomination for my insurance policy. They actually put a disclaimer there. They said that for Muslim clients, you know, in accordance to the fatwa of MUIS issued by MUIS, they consider a nomination for life insurance policies to be a contemporary hiba.
Okay,
So it's deemed to be a hiba actually.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can actually go and take a look. I think the recent one that I did was for Manulife. Manulife ada tulis form 4 dia.
Okay. Now I know. I mean, I didn't know. So that means like the CPF nomination. So
Yes, they
Same
have
concept,
It's the same concept.
I see.
I see.
Okay.
So that's why it's fair lah.
Yeah.
Yes.
But then again, what I understand a lot of people do is they nominate their family trust fund to be the one who receive the funds. Isn't it in a way kind of like back to our earlier point where you are reducing other people's share?
I wouldn't see it that way because at the end of the day, right, it's still a hiba that's
Okay.
been given, but it's just not to a person. It's been given to a trust fund instead. Yeah. And that trust fund is to be managed in a specific manner. It's the same concept juga apa. Say for example, I have a $1 million payout. If I'm not around, I give it entirely to you. So I'm reducing someone's share. Oops, sorry. I'm reducing someone's share when I'm giving that 1 million to you. But we reverse the situation to what you're saying earlier, which is I nominate my trust fund to be the recipient of my $1 million. It's still the same way apa. It's just go back to this particular trust fund.
Oh, okay.
So that's why you put it as a hiba.
Yes,
But-
it's the same.
But how you tell the trust fund to divide
Manage
the
the fund,
payment,
yeah.
It's subject to your trust deed lah.
Yeah.
and that is the one that you must really keep it close as possible to Faraidh lah, is it?
No, don't have to. Because at the end of the day, the money is already out of the way already.
Okay.
So it's not pursuant to Faraidh. They will see it as it's pursuant to a hiba.
Yeah.
You're not reducing anyone's share. You're not increasing anyone's share.
So it's only the balance then that is
Yes,
regarded
betul.
as the Faraidh.
Betul.
Right?
So-
That means, let's say you set aside that 1 million, then it's not counted as part
Yes.
of the Faraidh.
Yes.
Because
This
that-
is from insurance policy. But kalau if we turn the situation around, we don't talk about insurance policy. We're talking about monies in the bank. When you do that, then different.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Because the money in the bank, you can't come out with a nominee punya.
Yes, unless you're doing a hibah lah to wire it out to the trust fund. But that's a by left way to do it.
But when you hibah like that, technically, okay, from my understanding is hibah is the you can only decide on it when you are still living.
Correct. It's what we call, the term that we use is inter vivos gift.
Okay.
So
oh
it's-
yeah.
yes.
So real estate got study.
Yeah, so that's the term that we use. So when you're alive, in a way it's valid because you have given it away when you're alive.
Okay. Okay. If let's say I tell I tell my daughter, okay, I want to give you this amount. This is during life, and then the next day I pass away. The thing is, there is nothing that is written.
Yes.
So what happens then? Because she is expecting this gift, what?
Yes.
But then she won't get.
It's honestly a he said she said situation.
Yeah,
But
your
in the
words
eyes
again.
in the eyes of Singapore court, kalau nothing is written, it's hard lah to
Okay.
enforce it.
But if Syariah punya perspective?
Oh, Syariah perspective, definitely she is entitled to it. It's just a matter of whether they are going to honor it, and also there will always be that question as to whether is she really being honest about my dad saying, "Oh, I'm going to receive $10,000." Yeah, cakap
I
pasal
see.
duit, people will change. That's one thing I noticed in my experience as a lawyer dealing with estate planning. Yeah.
Okay, understand. Okay, now we talk about the structure. How does one, let's say me, I'm someone who is very new into this. I don't have a trust, I don't have a family trust or whatsoever. How do I actually start
having one.
Having one.
The very first thing you need to consider is who do you want to appoint as your trustee.
Okay.
And this trustee, the problem is you need to make sure they know that they have been appointed.
Okay.
Because you don't need their consent when you're preparing the trust deed.
My understanding, a lot of people, the trustee is also a law firm, right?
Not really. It really depends, I guess. Of course, I would say that we take a look at the value
Okay.
that we are looking at. So if the value isn't that much, it may not be ideal to get a law firm. Because most of them, they charge on an hourly basis. Or even percentage of don't know how much is the total value. So it may not be worth it. Yes. So then also there are some people who appoint trust company. They are MAS certified, regulated by them one.
Okay.
Yeah. So this kind of thing you cannot run.
So there are trust companies.
Yes, there are. But what, like I said, also fees not cheap lah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But sometimes they do a combination, right?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So they have like a person in the family and also a law firm.
So it's more like a supervising role
I see.
kind of a
I see.
situation. Because maybe you trust one person, but you won't know when it actually happens. Will they really
Yes.
comply with it?
So the law firm acts as a supervisor.
Yes, just to macam like, oh,
Role.
if you paid,
Okay.
if you're in charge of $30 million, for example, whatever money you paid for, you need to send us the documents. We want to review and see, is it really intended? You used it for what is intended to be.
Oh, okay. So you can appoint someone in the family to be doing that, to be having that role lah.
Boleh. But you have to be careful lah. So the person that you appoint must accept the role. Because I have seen there are cases, case law in Singapore whereby the person doesn't want to be.
So this is also considered as a donee?
Bukan doni, they're called trustee.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Because the trustee is the one who will be holding the funds, right?
Yes, and also managing the funds.
Okay. But the person who is that supervisory role that you mentioned won't be holding or managing what?
Won't be lah. So if you do,
So it's still called a trustee ah?
depends on how you appoint them lah.
Okay.
Yeah, like I said, ni semua tengok what are the powers granted to each party. So at one point maybe the roles that's given to the company is just purely to check
Okay.
the funds being utilized lah. But I wouldn't call them a trustee. Yeah, maybe someone that they're accountable to. But
I
the trustee
see.
will be the person that has the power to go to the bank, withdraw the money, and then utilize it for whatever they think is supposed to be used for.
Oh, okay. So I'm someone new into this. the easiest way from what I see is actually through a trust company. And then I also appoint someone to be supervising the entire distribution when I pass away lah.
Yes, correct.
Okay. And then if let's say I don't go through a trust company,
You can appoint somebody that you trust, literally, no issues. It's just like once again you have to inform them. Case law in Singapore has occurred such that the person refuses to be the trustee, and then because of that, the beneficiaries have to go and apply to court to get the court to appoint someone else instead.
I see.
Okay.
Okay, so that means like some people, they kind of trust their financial advisors, right? So that is also not really a route to take lah.
Okay, financial advisors, I'm not too sure whether are they even allowed by MAS to be doing such a role.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure there are some regulations that they have to follow, and even if they have been appointed, they might have to declare with MAS as well.
Okay, I see. Okay, then the next question. They say that you can actually use your family trust fund as a bank. Is it true, or
As a bank in what sense?
in the sense that you can take loans against
Your own.
Okay. Well, like I said, this one again, you have to take a look at how the trust deed is being drafted. Yeah, because if the trust deed is such that, it's only purely for the use of my daughter's education and medical related expenses, that's it.
Okay.
You cannot add in new clauses when the person is no longer around.
So that means from the get-go, I must already decide that, what is in the trust deed, what can my trust actually do?
Yes, correct.
So if I want to have capabilities where it is also kind of like a bank, I can do that.
Yes.
Okay.
So a lot of thought is always being put in, right, when you're preparing a trust deed. It's not as simple as, I want to have a family trust fund. Okay, tomorrow I can have one already. No, whoever's drafting your deed, right, will be asking you a lot of questions. What are your considerations? How's your family dynamics like? What are your plans moving forward? Is it something that's going to last more than 10 years? Yeah, and if let's say one of the trustees is not around, then who's the backup? How do you appoint a backup trustee? And all of
It
this.
has to be extremely well thought out lah.
Yes.
Right. And you have to put in all the other consequences or like situational events that might happen, that might occur.
Yeah, I guess for me at least, when clients come to me to prepare all this, my first question is, how long do you want this trust deed to be valid for?
Okay.
Like if me, I would want it to be like for
Forever.
Yeah, forever.
But there is a limit, right?
There is a limit.
What's the limit?
Number of years. 99 years kat Singapore.
99 years.
so
There's
so
the rule
limited
of-
lah.
So then
there's a
somebody else
rule.
has to go and renew or
Yes,
create their own.
Betul. There's a rule of perpetuity in Singapore. So
Okay.
that means your trust tak boleh lebih daripada bukan 99, 100 years.
100 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm looking at the website here. There are 64 MAS approved trust companies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you can check lah. Later. I can pass you the link.
Yeah, so it's not just any company that comes out and say, I'm a trust company, you can appoint us. No, they have to be MAS approved.
I see.
Yeah,
Because you are holding the money.
correct.
Right?
MAS will actually run checks.
Yeah. And most of them are banks, I see.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Your OCBC and I think Citibank I saw, I think.
I don't trust banks. Yeah, that's another story lah. Okay. What about now? People are holding cryptocurrencies. How do one actually pass down their crypto if let's say the crypto wallet is actually only known to that person?
Well,
Or in the phone only. How does that play out?
I can tell you this is a hot question. I have clients who come in and then they
serious?
say, I actually have various accounts. How do I nominate? So from the civil law perspective, so it's a bit tricky. Even civil law or even Muslim law perspective is just tricky because most of them are not based in Singapore.
Yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes account password, you're not going to be able to get them just like that.
Okay.
It requires even for lawyers to write into whichever headquarters they're based in to get access to the account password and username before we can even figure out how much is the value inside.
Okay.
Yeah. So in terms of estate planning wise, it would be ideal that you should at least have the username and password written down somewhere lah. So if not, you're gonna have a lot of issues dealing with it. Yeah, and if they are based overseas, it is still based on overseas law as well. Yeah.
Okay.
So you cannot just withdraw it immediately if it's based in US.
Okay.
Yeah.
So my follow-up question is, if let's say I have one crypto wallet, this crypto wallet has its own private keys. My private keys is, let's say I engrave it on a small piece of gold or something like that. And then I tell my daughter, example, in the event anything happens, I will give you this, and this is the keys to my crypto wallet lah.
My riches.
So my question is this gonna be considered as a gift, or does the amount that is inside that wallet needs to be distributed according to Faraidh?
Wow, this is a bit tricky. I guess it really depends on what was your intention. When you give the key, was the intention to actually let her have what is inside the account?
If let's say that's the case.
If that's the case, then it is deemed to be a gift lah, like a hiba of sorts. Yeah.
Okay, understand.
Unless you're
Ami, put it on your last pass lah. Your last pass, you can put other people, nominate other people. If you pass away, or you cannot have it. Yeah, and then they just have to accept, and then after like a few days or something, they will have access to your account on all your passwords.
It's easier for me to pass down my private keys rather than LastPass, because I don't think even my wife know how to use LastPass. Yeah. At least if I give my daughter, okay, this is the private key.
No, I mean,
you'll figure
as
it out.
long as she has an account, right? You can just put her email address. Yeah, and then the moment.
But she don't know how to use lah.
Too bad.
then you have to do it traditional way lah.
Yeah.
Tradition. Each one must write on the book.
Yeah, that's why.
Correct. Okay, that's interesting. So, if I want to start my own family trust fund, I should go to a trust company and then tell them that this is the capabilities of this trust fund, and that will be written in the trust deed.
Correct.
And then they will be the main person or main people who actually execute the entire thing.
Yes.
Okay.
So you also have to consider when your trust actually starts happening lah, the validity of it. Is it on the day that you signed it, or is it as of a specific date? Yeah. So then they will start executing it as per your instructions.
But where do you as a lawyer come in all of this?
Well, it depends. Because for us, usually we are in charge of drafting the trust deed as well.
Oh.
Yeah, but of course, if you prefer to get a trust company, you can get a trust company to prepare it.
Okay.
There is no need to get lawyers. It's not compulsory lah.
Okay.
Yeah, just that you have to make sure they are actually MAS approved.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. So if I were to engage your services, because this is considered under the estate planning part of your services that you offer, right? If I were to engage your services, first of all, are you a company that is listed under MAS?
No, I'm not.
Lawyers don't have to be, right?
Yeah.
It's only for the trust companies because they are holding the money.
Correct.
Oh,
Yeah, I get it.
Yes,
All right. Yeah.
Correct.
Okay, can. So that means the entity.
Will have to keep their money themselves, is it?
I believe they have a separate account for that.
Oh, so that means his account will go into a separate account
Yes, 'cause for
the
us-
trustee to manage.
Yes, for us lawyers, right, we actually have two different accounts. One is client's account, one is office account.
Oh.
So client's account is actually client's money lah that
Okay.
we haven't used or is being held as deposits. Yeah,
Okay.
so sometimes if those kind of situations happen, the monies actually go into client's account.
Okay.
Okay.
So that means if I were to engage you about with regards to this, what you will do for me is just to draft out the entire trust deed, and then with this trust deed, I bring to a trust company to actually execute this in the event that this needs to be executed.
Correct. If the trust company is the company that you have actually appointed.
Ah.
Yeah. But usually for such cases, right, when you have a trust company on board, they may actually suggest for you to have them draft it out.
Okay.
Because they would be more comfortable in their own wordings. There will also be certain considerations that they would consider on your behalf as well. But it's entirely up to you lah. They won't force you. But it's just that to them it's like, oh, we offer these in-house services. Might as well use us since you're going to appoint us anyway. Yeah.
Okay.
That's interesting.
You do wasiat also,
Yes.
estate planning and okay. So like, you know how you watch like movies, then they like
It's sealed, and then you read out everything, is it?
no, and then after that well, your late grandfather left a video for you. Has that ever happened to you?
It has never happened, but I had one where the client came to me with a sealed envelope with hot wax stamp, the seal on it. Then I just look at it, I'm like, I'm sorry, what's this? Then they were like, oh, this is the
Hogwarts punya.
yeah. Oh, this is actually the original will. We haven't opened it before. But me being me, I have a playful mind. Inside my head, I'm like, kalau dalam kosong, oh my god. Because apparently it's been inside for 30 years.
Okay.
Yeah. So when the person passed away, they asked me to open it in front of them. And I said, okay, sure, I can open. And then I just told them, okay, look, this is the contents of the will. I can run through with you guys. Then I think I saw one of their faces low-key a bit disappointed. Then I asked, why do you give, why is your face like that? Like, everything okay or not? Oh no, because I thought it was like those drama. You will read everything out, and then you will point to each person like, ABC, you're gonna get this amount of money.
Yeah. Does that happen?
No, it doesn't lah. So I was like, if you want, I can do it for you lah. But I'm just telling you that actually this is the contents. I thought you guys should see it first before I explain what are inside.
Okay.
What contents are being written inside the will lah.
Very interesting.
Yeah, video no lah. I haven't seen a video being played before, except for movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that'd be cool though.
You can consider lah. You can have that behind.
Do you have any last questions, Ami?
No, not at the moment.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I got one last question. What's next for you?
What's next in what way?
Like
In life.
In life.
In life.
Like
Yeah,
now
like-
you are running your own firm.
Yeah.
So what's the next step? Are you gonna sell off your company and then retire for good?
Oh, I want to retire
And
for
travel
good.
all the
lah.
way.
Yeah.
I want to retire for good, but well, right now actually I'm looking to expand the company. That is definitely something that I did not consider to begin with. I just thought of work-life balance. I can do everything on my own. I don't need other people and stuff. But I see potential in the company such that we can still grow.
Yeah, I
Okay.
saw one lawyer
Yeah.
when I was browsing your website.
Yeah, so I'm hoping to grow the company
Yeah.
and hopefully expand further and
Nice.
more branches and stuff lah. And we will see how it goes from there. But I will still want my work-life balance for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, one last question. Just one last question. If there is a piece of golden nugget that you want to share to future lawyers who want to run their own firms, what is that? One piece of advice.
I guess don't be too hard on yourself. Whatever happens, take one step at a time and make sure you take care of yourself. Because I feel that be it lawyers or not, people fail to take care of their own health, and in order to just chiong and get that money and join in the rat race. So sleep is very important, guys. I mean, even for me, I keep telling myself that, but sometimes I don't even follow. Yeah, but that's one advice that I would give to everyone, be it lawyers or not. Yeah.
All right.
Sleep, guys.
Sleep. Yeah, Nazrin. Nazrin was up at 3 a.m. So was I, because I know. Okay, with that
So
being
was
said-
I, because he blue ticked me.
Okay. With that being said, thank you so much, Liza, for gracing the studio, and thank you everyone for tuning in. Any last words from me? No? And with that being said, thank you for tuning in, and this was a pleasure, and we are the Golden Nuggets Podcast. Thank you guys. Bye-bye.
Do you know that you can make money from breeding sheep? Well, this is a message from our sponsor ARH, or commonly known as Alia Risk Holdings. ARH specializes in sustainable sheep management with programs for selective breeding, nutritional guidance, everything to keep your flock healthy and productive. Their team can maximize your breeding potential. And get this, they'll even help you sell your sheep, ensuring that you get top dollar for your livestock. So do yourself a favor, take your phone out and check them out at tgnpodcast.com/ARHinvest. With Alia Risk Holdings, you'll be breeding success and money one flock at a time. Nuggets, back to the episode.
This podcast is brought to you by Alia Risk Holdings, and we still have Zaidi.
Right, Zaidi. So just now you shared with us that you are also an agent for Korban for ARH, right?
Yes.
Can you share with us more about that?
Okay, firstly, I think few months prior to Korban Hari Raya Haji, they will disseminate out the contract.
Okay.
So there's a black and white lah, definitely kan. So we don't jual sembarang, harga sembarang and everything like that. So which is legit lah kan, as a, even though kita macam dah kawan-kawan, but definitely you still need black and white.
Betul.
So they give us a contract and we sign, and then after that in the contract they will state the amount of profit that we get lah, when we sell the kambing lah. So once all that is done, then when Hari Raya Haji comes, then we collect the orders. So there will be a lot of orders kan, for example, you see. So they got this Excel sheet. So we just include our customer's name di semua.
Okay.
Then we just collect. Then we just send to them at the stipulated time and date. Then they will confirm with us lah. Then we just do the transfer and everything. So it's systematic lah. Tak ada yang macam, there's no form of like macam asal boleh je buat and everything like that. So far we did from 2019 ke 2020.
I see.
Ever
Okay.
since. So
Few years already.
Yeah, so tak ada yang, like I said before, the few parts before kan, tak ada yang macam very, I wish they would do something more lah. It's all systematic. So tak ada yang macam, kita ragu-ragu atau like macam, alamak macam mana yang ni semua and everything like that. So far all good, Alhamdulillah.
And can you share for a customer yang nak kurban through ARH, what is the process for them?
So basically you can just contact them. Kan, you nak buat apa, buat korban berapa. There are different countries kan. A lot, I think. The furthest one kat Yemen if I'm not wrong. Yeah. So kat Yemen tu bukan tangan atas tangan tau.
Okay.
They are directly liaising with them. So you don't have to worry. And then they also like, you can see that the banners that they did bila diorang sembelih kambing tu, it's their logo is there. Then so like they are directly liaising lah. It's not tangan atas tangan, which what we heard happen in Bangladesh lah.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
Interesting. Maybe we can share a little bit more.
So
What happened?
this not directly from them, but we heard from another individual also that what happened in Bangladesh or maybe dekat Mekah even. So okay, so to be truthful about it, is just from the words of the person's mouth to my ears lah.
Okay.
Yeah. So what they said is, kat sana dah ambil sembelih kambing tu semua, then gambar nama, dah ambil gambar, lepas tu dia tukar the play card tu. Kambing sama
Using the
tukar.
same kambing.
So
Okay. So that
I
means
think
dah sembelih satu kambing tapi nama 10 nama gitulah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So itu is considered normal practice lah.
That's normal practice over there.
No, normal practice in terms of doing those things. It's perkara biasa, like.
Wow.
Yeah.
Kira like those countries yang do it like illegally lah. Kira.
Yes, betul. So macam for us, macam tak nak aku involve with those kind of person kan. Like for me, if I know pun macam, aku dapat duit ni halal ke tak ni, duit profit ni,
Yeah, a bit like in the grey area.
Yeah, so macam kalau orang cakap, ni kambing betul ke? Nampak macam sama je. You will get those kambing ni gambar sama-sama kan. Tak, we are confident that you say no, it's not the same kambing, it's different. Yeah.
I see. So that means what you're saying is some other competitor punya company, diorang will go to this kind of farms who will or who may eventually do this kind of things.
Yeah.
But for ARH, because they own the farm,
Yes.
you won't see such things happening lah, because they really keep track of all their their number of goats that they have, their livestock that they have lah.
And the SOP also, when they liaise with all these people. Yeah.
I
so
see.
you can trust them lah.
Okay.
Definitely. Yeah.
And for you, like, how is it? Like, how do you eventually become an agent for ARH? Do you like tell them, or were you offered this? By
I was
ARH?
offered lah.
Okay.
I didn't know. Because I was like, do they offer such service? So macam when they offered to me, macam, another chance to make money. Okay lah, why not? Although it's not much lah berkambing, but it's still money kan.
Yeah.
Just
Right.
take it lah.
Yeah.
Some more like we know they are trustworthy and they know what they're doing. So kira kan macam sama macam free money lah. We just go along with it lah. Yeah. So Alhamdulillah so far.
I see.
Not really free money because you need to also
Liars
spread
lah.
the word.
Yeah,
right?
yes, correct. Yep.
Usually it's the word of mouth
Yes,
to family members, and that's where you get the sales lah. Okay.
So far, you have been an agent with them since 2019. You mentioned, kan?
Yeah.
over the past few years, like sekarang ni, are you the go-to person with your family and friends to be the apa tu, the one who provide this service?
Yeah, for my family and friends, yes. But to others outside, like macam strangers, tak sangat lah. We don't really
Push lah.
push the marketing for that. Because it's not easy lah in Meta and such.
Yeah.
Because of the live slaughtering and stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so
Sensitive one,
Yes.
Yeah.
So for family and friends, they know like, oh, I have a farm, then we do such services for korban. So senang lah. Then my mother will just, oh, ada kambing dekat Malaysia, kau nak buat korban boleh buat dengan dia, macam gitu, you know. Yeah.
That's exactly what it sounds lah.
Yeah. Because I always over what my mom say lah.
Nice.
Wow, okay, that means your mom also support. Earlier you mentioned that you and your dad saw the first advertisement together.
My father-in-law.
Oh, your father-in-law. So, did the two of you co-invest atau macam mana?
No, it's just me and my wife. So, but then because I did a small slaughtering course lah kat Malaysia, kat JB. So he was part of the participant lah. He supported me during that small course.
I see. This course that you mentioned, is it also facilitated by ARH atau?
Oh, he let me to run my own. To liaise with the person that he know lah. Yeah.
Okay.
Wow,
So,
best.
Yeah. So
Recommend
but it's not really easy because kita siapa kan, and then we promote this course. Habis orang pun kat Singapore macam tak because you know in Singapore when you slaughter you have from credible sources, trainer yang buat bila kat masjid punya slaughtering. So I think there were not enough awareness in terms of you can do it outside of Singapore. So yeah.
I see. And so far, when is the recent one the first time you get the funds from being an agent to reinvest back, atau before this you have already done it?
The only time was last year.
The only time was last year.
Yeah, I reinvested back. Because alhamdulillah last year we got quite a few orders lah.
Okay.
So I told my wife, macam if you were to use it for our own expenses, macam sayang lah. Why not we just roll back again, put aside some money, you never know. So initially for this van we thought macam, kita ada berapa Pasal initially we don't really ask him much about our quantity. Because we know we got 4 we bought last year. Then initially our initial investment was 4, so total maybe 8. That's the fixed one lah. So as the years goes by, we don't really ask. So when I asked him recently, how much I have, boss, for my own investment? You got 34, I think. I like, betul ni.
Yeah.
So yeah, from then on like macam, 34 boleh lah, we set some money for the van lah. So okay lah, then we just go ahead with that lah.
So 34 is without the 4 that you reinvested from your agent. All in. I see. Okay, that's very interesting. And also because the 2 that the 4 that you reinvested last year will also breed more lah kan.
So he told me by end of this year it will breed more than that lah.
Nice.
Yeah. So what I sold back for the van, I will get it back by end of this year.
Oh yeah, that's true. Wow.
So,
This is your money making money.
Yeah.
Your money giving birth to more money.
I mean, if people out there are listening, if you want to buy a van, you know where to go.
Yeah.
So that's why they say also there's a quote like, make sure you make your money when you're sleeping. Yeah. So this is one of it lah, I would say.
And perhaps one last question. Throughout your past 5 years that you are with ARH, and you mentioned that one of the opportunity that was given is being an agent for the Korban. Any other opportunities that you get from the investment that you have?
I think there's a lot of opportunity lah. But for myself, my own, I don't reach out to him because I feel macam paiseh lah.
Okay.
Macam just me personally, because kita siapa lah kan nak minta benda-benda ni semua. So we craft our own pathway for myself. But in terms of anything related to ARH and kambing per se, there's a friend also at the same time who asked me, Zai, kau kenal Ashraf ni, got a lot of contacts, all this kind of stuff, kenapa kau tak make macam leverage on him or make use of him? I don't know what to answer at that point of time when he asked me face to face. But then I go back, I ask my wife the same question my friend asked me, and she say, we don't make use of people like that lah. We want to craft our own pathway and make sure macam we value relationship more.
Yeah.
Like now, like I seen it kan, macam kita dah kenal since 2018. Macam tak ada benda yang boleh beli lah benda macam ni.
That relationship
Yeah. Let's say kalau macam even let's say lah kita tak work together with him, man, I would be wary because takut rosak this relationship. You heard this everywhere, right? When you get more closer and things didn't happen, and it tends to have, so I rather not have this kind of things. So we just stay away lah and then carve our own pathway kat situ.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, this relationship you can't find it with stocks.
Yes. The broker
Gold.
they just call you, oh, you want to invest duit tak? Nampak money je dah. Gitu je.
Sekarang tak ada broker terus, just pakai app je.
Yeah. Macam tak senggol je dah.
Right.
Alright, so thank you for sharing with us your
problem.
journey with ARH. We really appreciate it, and we hope that our listeners will also take a lot of nuggets from whatever you shared, and inshallah they will also become future investors like you.
InsyaAllah.
And an Asian.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much, Zadie, for sharing with
Thank you
Golden
for
Nugget
inviting me.
Nuggets. And thank you so much for listening, guys. And this podcast is brought to you by the Alia Risky Holdings.
Risk Holdings.
See you. Bye-bye.